So in our first class, we were talking about options you may have for art supplies. So not everyone's going to have the same thing in their house. So I want you guys to have some options. When I say painting, maybe if you don't have paint, you got to use something else. So let me show you a couple of different ways that I can go about adding color to this using different materials. So nearby, y'all probably heard that I have a bucket of water and a paintbrush. So I have one of these small watercolor sets. So if you have an individual paint set, you probably have something similar to that. So I could decide, okay, well, I'm going to paint this. So I'm going to get some orange paint on here. And let's say I decide, okay, so I'm going to start along here. Well, that looks like I got a little bit of a sunburn, right? So I might have to add some water to that to lighten it up. So I got some more water. Now, the nice thing is on my beard and stuff and my lips and nose, well, I can go right over that because that's done with crayon wax. I wouldn't want to go over the eyes and everything. That I would need to leave for later. So here, I'm going to add a little bit more of that paint because I think I could go a little darker than I went. Here it's looking a little closer to what I want. Now the nice thing is, something we were kind of exploring in second grade is blending. So you can get some really nice effects on here by blending colors. So blending means a color is darker, then you sort of fade it away to lighter. So here I'm not going to put my brush in the water, I'm just going to get paint on it. So if I go along the side here and I add that paint and sort of pull it across, it fades itself away, and that sort of takes on a nice 3D effect. So I need to think about, well, underneath my eyebrows there would be sort of shadows there. So if I add more of that paint, that really makes it take on a whole nother level. Where I put this line on my nose, well, that side of my nose would be the dark side then, so I'm going to put that on. Now, maybe I don't have paint, so maybe instead of using orange paint, I'm using an orange colored pencil. So what you could do is the same blending effect where you start out kind of darker and you're pressing harder, but then as you move across, you fade it and you go lighter. So you can see how even with the colored pencil, that's taking on more of a 3D effect. So I would do the same effect coming from the other side. So the colored pencil will give me just as nice an effect as the actual paint. All right, something else you can try. Let's say I don't have a lot of colored pencils, I don't have a lot of paint. So you can actually use water-based markers as your paint. So you don't want to use up all your markers just on one art project. So I'm gonna put some green on here, and you'll notice I'm holding this a certain way. So I'm getting a lot of coverage, not a thin skinny line. So I could use a paintbrush, I could use a wet Q-tip, and since this is water-based ink, adding water to it would actually make it move around more. So if I add water to it, you can see how I'm starting to get it to pull across and turn into paint. So I'm going to try to blend away the line that's there where it stopped, and I'm going to pull that across, so I use that to fill in the color for my shirt. So I am going to be working on mine, you're going to be working on yours, and do not forget, when you're done up here, you need to be working down here too so you get the finished product. So I'm going to be adding color to both parts of this so that I have a nice finished piece to show people. So when you guys are done, I'd like you to upload a photo of this to me because I really want to see how this turns out. Hopefully I'll get to see you guys soon in person, but until then, all we can do is see each other online.